So if my gusto seems a little bit lower in this video, that's because I'm coming off the back of a rough one. Because today I got in the mail a speeding fine for $450. $450 down the tube for going 7Ks over the speed limit. I was going 7Ks over in a 60 zone. Absolute bogus. So I will pay it. I will pay it because I'm a law-abiding citizen, and you do have to pay those fines. But it did make me consider a time where one time I was able to evade a speeding fine. Well, evade a fine, just by sweet talking the boys in blue. So I was hanging out with my friend Danny. He's actually my work colleague. We work together. It was a Friday arvo, and it was like 2:00 Friday arvo, and we were about sick of work. We were getting pretty keen for the weekend, so we were sort of counting down the hours till work was over, and we had plans to play golf at 5:00 that evening. It was a beautiful sunny day, and yeah, we were getting very disinterested in work because the golf course was calling our names. So yeah, about 2:00, and we get a phone call from the boss, and he's like, "Oh, I've got got another job for you. There's an old lady's mailbox her mailbox has been smashed by the rubbish truck as it was picking up the bin. The guy must have been a rookie or something. Smashed her mailbox, and she said we need to go around and just patch it up for him." So me and Danny we weren't super hyped about that because that was we were about ready to knock off, but we thought, all right, one more job and then we're done for the week. So we got the address off the boss, drove around to this old lady's house, and she lived in like quite a rich, wealthy sort of part of town. Like it was a beautiful house. All the houses around were like big, nice gardens and beautiful big trees. Quite a nice neck of the woods. We found this old lady's house, saw her mailbox, and she told us that it was going to get patched up. But mate, that joint was in a million pieces. That thing had been clobbered by the garbage truck. So we knocked on her door and we're like, "Oh, we're here to fix your mailbox." And she looked at us, and she was really short, but she still like managed to like tilt her head back, so she still kind of, at least in her mind, was looking down on us. She tilted her back and said, "Yes, you will fix my mailbox." And we're like, yeah, that's what we're here to do. And she's like, and I will pay you accordingly. And we're like, yeah, we're doing this. This is our job. We're getting paid. And yeah, so she was a funky old, she was odd. She was a bit odd. She meant well, I'm sure. She was a bit odd. So anyway, we went out the front and looked at the mailbox, and yeah, it was beyond repair, mate. We needed to start fresh, which that did not suit us because that was just going to eat into our golf time if we didn't crack on. So we're like, right, we just need to fully start again. We need a brand new mailbox. This thing's beyond repair. So we're looking at our phones where the closest Bunnings warehouse was because we needed to go and buy timber, get some materials. And it was a 50-minute drive to the closest Bunnings, which this was devastating to find out because our golf session, 5:00 tee time, was looking a bit shaky, not going to lie. We thought, all right, well, we just got to do it. So we got in the ute, drove to Bunnings, 50-minute drive because of the traffic. But we got the stuff, got the timber, and then as we sort of loaded up and we were driving back, I was driving, and then I had all my tools on the passenger seat. So Danny was actually sitting in the back seat, and we had all the timber there with him, and then his tools back there as well. And as we were driving, Danny was like, "I reckon I could just whip this thing together right here, right now in the back seat while we drive, and then we could just get out, put it there, and be done with the job." And I was like, "Is that even legal? Like, it would have made a big bump, and you're right, cutting through a bit of wood." He was like, "Nah, you gotta risk it for the brisket." So, as we were driving, Danny's back there, and he's got bits of wood going here, and he's got his saw coming this way, and he's got his drill and a bag of nails pouring all over the joint, and he's cutting stuff, and there's sawdust going all through the car and out the window. And he's making an awful mess, but he is whipping together this little mailbox. I've got to hand it to him. He's doing a good job. So I sort of just let him be. But yeah, it was a bit of a sight because we were pulling up at like red lights and stuff, and there was like kids getting picked up from school looking at him, and he's just there with his circular saw going, and his sawdust going out the window, and kids are like, "What is going on over there?" So we're a bit of a sight. And as I was driving in my head, I was like, "Gee, I don't even know if this is legal or not. Like, hopefully, let's just not. Hopefully, we don't have to find out." Basically. And yeah, we did find out because some copper, obviously, I don't know, he saw us and pulled us over and put his lights on, pulled me over, and we were like, oh, hopefully, like, we haven't done anything wrong, have we? We don't think there was any laws that we'd broken. And this cop sort of pulled us over, got out of his car and walked up beside us and said, "How are we going, boys? What are we up to here?" And it's like, "Oh, nothing much, just driving to work, building something in the back." And he's like, "Look, that is not safe. I have to write you a fine, unfortunately, for unsafe driving." Unsafe driving was what he gave us the fine for. And Danny was sitting in the back seat. Well, and he was like, "Well, hang on. Are you giving me this fine for unsafe driving? Because I'm not even driving." And the cop was like, "Well, it's just unsafe for you to be in the car driving." And this is where I guess Danny was getting keen for that golf and sick of everything else. So he kind of pushed back. He boldly pushed back a little bit on this copper, and he's like, "Well, hang on. I'm not driving. He's driving. I'm wearing a seatbelt. If you could tell me the law that I'm actually breaking by doing this." And the cop, he kind of thought for a second. He was like, "Oh, all right, I'll give you that. There is no law that you're breaking." So he basically just gave us a warning and said, "Don't do that again," even though there's no law against it. Yeah, we got away with it. So this cop, he let us go with just a warning. Yeah, so Danny kind of clutched up, not going to lie, because I don't know how much the fine was going to be, and I don't know who was going to get the fine. I suppose me, because I was driving, but yeah, Danny, we finished the drive to the old lady's house. He managed to get most of the mailbox built, like it was just like finishing touches when we got there, put it there, and then we were like, oh, we kind of just got the vibe that this old lady would, like, if we showed it to her, even if she really liked it, she was going to say, "No, change this, change that." So we put it there, set it all up, quick knocked on her door, and then just dipped to our ute, drove off, and ladies and gentlemen, we pulled up to that. Our tea time was 5 o'clock, and I reckon we got there about 5:01, which close enough in my books, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm taking that as a victory. And yeah, so my speeding fine today was not a victory, but reminiscing on that huge victory resulting in golf most certainly was. Happy ending. Peace.